All right, we rolling.
Good morning.
Good morning. It is actually morning this time.
It is. It's like an hour later.
Or an hour earlier, right?
An hour earlier.
Yeah, because I don't know how that works. I'm too stupid to think about that. But yeah, so here we are, Rudy with Ballard, or Rudy from Ballard, Street Talk.
Yeah,
Episode 3, sir. We made it. We've done it at this point.
I think we're doing the best we can, and hopefully the audience will grow.
Let's hope. Let's hope.
I mean,
the echo can't help. I think it's echoey in here as well.
Yeah, we're gonna get the echo fixed sooner than later. But look at it, it's liquid sunshine. Got the nice view overlooking toward the canal.
In the center of the universe.
Yes.
There we go.
Can't ask for anything better than that.
I don't see how we could. So what's going on?
Well, I had a doctor's appointment this morning, and I chose it at 7:45, not thinking that we were going to sprint forward with the clocks. So I get up, and I'm time management, and I show up to my appointment, and I follow the arrows. And I go to the front desk, and it's down the hallway. So I'm walking down the hallway and make sure I brush my teeth and I comb my hair and I put on my best deodorant. But I don't want to put that foo-foo on to cause people to have allergic reaction.
What's a foo-foo?
Foo-foo is like a cologne or perfume, some sort of thing that
stinks
and then get people hacking and coughing. So I'm walking down the hallway, and I can't help to notice how people dress before 7:45 in the morning. And I'm not one to show dress for success based on being a gardener in North Seattle. So I start walking through, and some people are in their pajamas, hair is sticking out. And get to the front desk, and what's really was nice is to see those at the front desk dress for success. I mean, it's absolutely professional. And what I was doing was getting vaccinated today, just to be straight up. And so I get to my point, and I get checked in. I meet with the nurse. The nurse asked me several questions, and she says, "We're going to keep you for a half hour. So can you take off your shirt, roll up your sleeves?" So I try to pull my sweatshirt off. The whole shirt comes flying out, and I turn around. I go. I said, if I would have known I was going to meet you today, I would have been doing sit-ups about 6 weeks ago.
6 years ago.
6 weeks ago. No, I did them 6 years ago. Things have digressed since. So, don't worry about it. You look just fine. And that's a good answer. Thank you very much. So, finally I got myself all situated, and here comes that needle.
Was it that big?
I mean, to me it looked that big. It looked humongous. Okay, but no, maybe it was about that big. She says, "Are you nervous? Do you need somebody to hold your hand?" Just do it. Just do it. She says, I said, "Are you done yet?" She says, "Yes, we're done." So I go to put my shirt on. She says, "Let's not forget your Band-Aid, Rudy." Go, yeah, okay. So she says, "Okay, we're going to have you go around, and we're going to have you sit right here for about a half hour. You're going to be number 10. I said.
This is after you got the shot?
This is after I got my shot, after I got my vaccine. And they wanted to have me sit in case I had an allergic reaction, in case my throat started swelling up and I went into hives or something, and then I could be carted down the hallway.
Because you've had reactions to
I've had
vaccines.
a reaction like when I was 17, when I got vaccinated in boot camp. But just had to grin and bear it there because I was in the woods when that happened. So got through that. So I figured what the heck, you know, I mean, nothing wrong with sitting around for 30 minutes to use those, you know, on the safe part of it, you know, because I had to meet with you today at, you know, around 11 o'clock, and I wanted to make sure at least made it to the podcast. So anyway, so I'm sitting in number 10, and there other people are sitting along, and I go, I'm a 10, and my hair gel is a 10.
You've always been.
And I said, I must be a perfect 10. And these ladies could look at me and they go, you sure are. And so I'm sitting there and I'm going, looking down the hall, and people are nervous. I mean, it's like, I think some people will finally come outside and start to transform back into our social norm, because some people haven't, but I heard from talking to them is that they haven't been out. You know, this is an opportunity for them to be able to get out, and I respect that. And so I'm sitting there and I go, you know, this kind of reminds me of something. You know, it kind of reminds me of that movie, One Who Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
I'm reading it right now.
Are you really?
I am.
Serious?
Ken Kesey, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going, well, I've already met Nurse Ratched.
Oh,
And this nurse says, are you talking about me? I said, oh, no, not you. No, but you know what? She's really not Nurse Ratched. She's very professional, and I'm really impressed with how everything is flowed. And it was very impressive.
How did it remind you of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
Because we got all these people down the line. Nobody's talking. They're looking at their hands. They're staring at the wall. And they're going, oh. And then all of a sudden some jackass pops off. That would be me. Jackass.
Jackass number 10.
Jackass number 10. And I'm going, sure glad I did my hair this morning. Because, you know, what was so fascinating for me is walking in and looking at the different hairdos and different styles. And what I noticed is the latest trend is this cut right here. It's not the real, some people have short hair, and some people have long hair, but it's this cut, and there's different colors, and you can tell which ones do and don't dye their hair. How do I know? Because I go to a beauty salon and I listen to the ladies talk about the current and latest fashions and the do's and don'ts of being a good man. And
what are they saying? I want to hear this.
So all of a sudden I see these women going, and I go, it's 7:45 in the morning and there's no expectations. And I can only say, it's nice to met you all. Well, I'm an 11, this lady says. And so you better be careful. And I sit up like this. I already noticed you looking at me. I wasn't looking at you. I was looking at the timer on my phone. I said, well, I thought you were looking at me because I was a 10. No, I wasn't looking at you. I said, well, there's a clock right there. Oh, yeah, there is. I said, if you need to know what time it is, feel free to ask. I'll let you know. She says, I can handle it myself. I'm an 11. And so here's all these people down the line. All of a sudden, one starts talking, one starts laughing. So we're having this conversation.
You're McMurphy.
That's it. And so all of a sudden and then there's a couple of guys that are just completely petrified. They're over there. It's like their wives just let them out for the first time. And they didn't know how to act or what to do. But the cool thing about street talk is is when I'm out on the streets, we have these many conversations about opportunity and hope. And hear different stories of concerns and successes. And yesterday, I got a call because I'm a member of Fremont Rotary, and Rotary giving service back to the community is very important. When called for service, we want to help. So I had a friend of mine, Meg, who likes to clean up along shoreline areas, who needed some orange traffic cones. And I was able to provide the traffic cones, but I wasn't able to clean. But the traffic cones was a huge success for her and her friends to take it upon themselves to go clean a real dirty area along a waterway down in South Park, like we do canal
along the Duwamish,
along the Duwamish, I believe it was. Like we do the canal, and we keep it clean. And what she said to me is, you know, Rudy, when this all got cleaned up, there's a blue heron that came right up to me as if, thank you. And that's the thing that makes those moments of giving service. It's not just about the people, but the natural habitat and wildlife around us that can't take care of themselves, but we take care of it. It's our responsibility to take care of it for them. And that's really what I enjoy about being a gardener, being able to meet and greet people and hear their stories, because not a lot of people have been really, really afraid during the past year, during this pandemic, and people have been isolated, and many times people are afraid to say hi, you know, because they're stuck on their earplugs, or they're on their phone, and they're almost hostage to social media and to the TV news about what the latest trends are. And you get some jackass that says, "Good morning." Oh, good morning. Are you talking to me? I said, "Talking to you. How's it going?" "Oh, not too bad. It's a beautiful day, isn't it?" "It sure is, Rudy. It sure is." "Thanks. Oh, have a great day." And I say, "You too." And whether it's on the streets, and whether it's somebody that is feeling really down or really, really up, it's okay to say, "Hey, how are you?" "Hi." You know, I run to people that are disabled, or who are chronic inebriant, or have mental health issues. I check on them. "How's it going?" And, "Oh, I'm okay, man. I'm okay." "It's good. Do you need anything?" "No, I'm cool, Rudy. I'm cool." And some I don't even know their name. It's just the right thing to do, and giving service when needed. And sometimes it's just saying hi.
Well, that's really beautiful, and I think those two things are connected: the gardening and the nature, and saying hi, and being, a kind and polite member of society. We need both of those things right now, where people pay a little bit more attention to the environment, but the environment includes us. We are part of the environment, and we have to be kind and loving to each other. And in a city that sometimes feels like it's on the edge of falling apart, little things like smiling and saying hi. I mean, smiling's hard to do with the masks, but
You look at their eyes, they're got the cute guy disorder syndrome, or the hate guy syndrome, it's like, or the nice guy, or the jackass.
Are you talking about people with resting bitch face, or with the smiling face?
Oh yeah, can tell right up, straight up. Better not say anything, just keep moving. Sometimes it's best to not say a word.
Yeah.
You can pretty much tell when it's not appropriate.
Yeah, but I think the intention and just being, thoughtful. You're not putting it in anyone's face when you say hi. You're just moving on, and if they don't respond to you, they don't respond.
There's also a time when we go into those professional settings, and it's good manners good etiquette, respectful, and many times when I enter a place, there are expectations and rules that I need to comply with. Like, for example, going into UW today, there's put on a mask and follow directions, and that's totally appropriate to backing off and respecting the room as a whole. But the highlight again was when we're all sitting, staring at the wall with that one who flew.
Do you think it's kind of like this, kind of like people that they're just living their lives and they've chosen to listen to others as far as who's going to dictate their safety, and so they're in this room not really convinced that this shot is going to help them, but they hear from all of these experts that they need to get the shot, so they're in there getting the shot, and that's why they feel a little bit conflicted, but then maybe there's a little bit of relief afterwards. It's like, maybe finally this is over and I can start living a normal life.
I do believe that's the case, and I won't speak for anybody other than myself, is when this vaccine first became available to the public, first thing I checked was my doctor. Have you got it yet? Let me know how it goes. See the pharmacist, I'll be in the pharmacy. Hey, have you got your shot yet? Have you got your vaccine yet? I did. Let me know when you get your second dose, because I want to see if you're still standing. There's that fear of the unknown, and I said, you look pretty good today. Well, what was wrong with me before? And I said, well, I'm not saying what was before. I want to know what happens after. Okay, so don't go there with me. Well, don't get smart over there. If you got something to say, why don't you say it? So anyway, so then they get another dose, and I said, you're okay. I think I'm cool with it.
Yep.
Now, because if you're okay, I'm sure I'm going to be okay. And one of them said, I can now give the vaccine. I can hardly wait. I hope you're my first. I said, oh my God, paybacks are tough, aren't they? I'll start being nice around here. But but that's that sense of humor where we have that gift to go back and forth, but also keep it civil. Don't have to be jackasses 24/7. But there's a time for being a good old jackass, and
I wouldn't know it looking at you. You were always just Mr. Sunshine and happy, it seems like.
Well, I have my moments. Believe it or not, I do have my moments. Even that whole incident with Zarna Joshi up there at City Hall, I'd just been sober like a month and a half, and I'm still toxic as all hell, and she's wanting to know my name, and shit, I ain't giving her my name. I'm just gonna play stupid with her.
You're McMurphy. Why would you give some random person your name?
I wouldn't. So I play stupid with her, and I'll cause a great havoc, shit stir. And I find it today. People come up to me, I saw that video and I thought you were something that you're truly not. You're really a nice guy. I said, well, thank you for that. We've been talking about you. You're a nice guy. And I make it clear, well, I have I can be an ass too, believe it or not. I don't want to take away the compliment. I thank you, but there's no question that it's in my character that I can be an ass and be called on it.
I think that if you're talking about being an ass in this one situation up at City Hall, which would be understandable that you would think that, because you probably, in your mind, you probably were, because you were frustrated. You were just coming out of a frustrating meeting, you're heading out, you're, like you said, a month out of being sober, you're dealing with that issue, and then this person who has no affiliation with you comes up and starts berating you. And your response, I mean, I've seen the video, and your response is truly remarkable. And I think that's what took off about it, is that you could have the poise in that moment, not to be like, fuck you, or just walk away, but instead to be light with it and to have fun and to be like, oh, I'm humongous. Humongous what? Humongous what? I'm just humongous. Look at me, I'm fat.
Oh wait, whoa.
Oh, pardon me.
Get this. So where most people during the pandemic have gained weight, I've lost by going to Soprano's Pizza and going to Taki's Mad Greek. And of course...
Shout out.
And so, I mean, I can't help...
Support local businesses.
People would say, aren't you worried about getting sick? I said, what do you mean getting... I'm not going to McDonald's. Nothing wrong with McDonald's. I'm not going to fast food, I should say. I don't want to, whatever. So I'm going to... I know who's cooking. I know how it's being cooked. It's like a home-style meal for the bachelor root dog from Ballard. Ballard's most available bachelor. Bachelor man. Like,
Bachelor number 10.
What's that tire commercial? Michelin Man?
Michelin.
Is it Michelin Man?
You have a much better build than the Michelin Man.
Well,
even though it looks like the Michelin Man's been working out recently.
I think the Michelin Man has. Can I say man? Oh yeah. I can still say man. Hey man,
God, we are deep in it. We're here in Seattle. We don't even know if we can say man or not.
It's I'm still dude.
Don't raise your hand.
I'm still.
Put your hand down.
Hey, you looking for a man? Here I am.
Oh man.
So there we go. But really, in all seriousness, this podcast, I understand you have some really, I'm not going to say who they are, but I understand there's some really great guests coming aboard here.
Thanks to you.
Well, I think the thing is you can't be serious all the time. Seriousness with humor. But I think you've got some great guests that are going to be able to share their story that can be a real plus and benefit.
I'm really excited for some of them, because I think I don't know about the one. I'm excited about him too, but the other two, they have great stories. They have great stories to share with the community, and just that by itself, I think is worthwhile. But perhaps, we can have a conversation and talk about some things that we can do as community members here to make things just a little bit better.
I understand you have
Don't say it. Don't say who.
I'm not saying who, but it's Hazard Pay.
Hazard.
The Dukes of Hazard. I call them the Dukes of Hazard, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, those dudes.
Oh, okay.
Those dudes. Yeah, but that's coming here soon. So, but I think it's really. I hope that people will continue to listen, and it's not about me or
yes, it is.
Or
everyone.
You,
it's
but I think there's so many people out here doing stuff.
There are.
And that get not noticed, and.
But we can't be serious all the time, like you said. This is crazy. Look at what you and I both grew up here for the most part, right? This is a wild time to be in existence, and we have to simultaneously, juggle working hard and diligently, like you do out in the field every day, and also just having fun with people and being like, yo, isn't it crazy we're still alive? Like we're still we're still kicking it on this rock, hurling through space. You know, it is what it is.
There's a time and place for business, and there's a time and place for self-care, and there's a time and place for fun. And it's a balanced approach to being able to live life as we do. And at the same time, look out for each other. When one's down, you know, give them a hand. Let's pick them up, you know, help them up. But that individual initiative of being able to be self-sufficient is key to most of what we can do. And if there's something we can't do, or I can't do, I reach out and ask, can I get some help with this? And I think that's just being human.
Yeah.
Not afraid to ask. And
Yeah, it is. It is to a degree, but I think, now this is just my perspective of you from the outside, I think that you've done it from within. Yeah, people have helped you, and you know, treatment centers and kind people in your life and all of that. That definitely helps and plays a part. But lots of people have that opportunity in their life and they don't take it. It is about being an individual and standing up for yourself. I'm a big Jordan Peterson fan, 12 Rules for Life, and you know, the foundation of that is get your own stuff together, clean your room, make your bed, be, stand up straight, right? Like go throughout the world in a way that it doesn't require other people to prop you up necessarily. And if we all did that, then yeah, of course, when people fall down on hard times, which happens in life, life is full of suffering, then we're there to help those people, obviously. And well, not obviously, but hopefully and ideally. You know, right now it seems like we're not doing necessarily always a great job at that.
I don't think the city's prepared right now for us transforming. Our leaders are not prepared for us transforming back into the social norm, and I really.
Why do you think that is?
Why? First of all, I mean, you look at. We're going to open up the schools here late March, April, going into May, and then all of a sudden we have summer. And my biggest flag right now with the things that I'm seeing on the streets is youth violence. I think we're going to have a serious, and I hope I'm wrong, and I think that's going to become the new buzzword. We need, we're going to have this homeless issue that we're talking about. We have the heroin addiction, but we are going to have an issue with youth violence. And how do we handle it? Do we have a peace circle and we sit around and talk ourselves out of it? Or to encourage them to talk themselves out of it, or are there boundaries? I mean, what is it that we're going to do now to prepare for the summer?
What would you advocate for?
At this point, gotta wait and see. We had a youth violence summit many years ago with Councilwoman Chow and others that involved gang and youth violence. And I don't know if this council or this current leadership with an election year is going to be able to more than likely they're going to want to wait it out and see what happens going into next year. But no question there's people that are going to be hurt, and I don't think the Seattle Police Department is prepared for it, because Seattle is the playground for the shitheads to hang out, because we have a weak council and a weak mayor that's lame duck, just the way it is. And nobody wants to stand up and set a boundary or create some sort of line in the sand. But I think I truly believe we're going to have violence going into this summer, and there's going to be drive-bys, and it's going to be drug and alcohol related, and nobody's going to know what to do. And at this point, the families will not be supported. the families definitely want to get Junior or the daughter or the boys and girls under control, but the system's not set up to support that at this point. And it's,
Well, yeah.
I mean, what can I do? There's nothing I can do other than just watch my ass and make sure I'm not in the way and just be a nice guy and kind of kiss that part of the issue's ass to make sure it doesn't become my ass. But people are gonna get hurt and there's gonna be an outcry, and I know for a fact that our Seattle City Council and our King County Council is gonna be quiet. The state legislature is already given a free pass here in the Senate right now that is gonna give those that are agitators more rights than the victims. The victims, there's nothing being discussed in the state capitol about the victims, whether they're newborn babies being born addicted to drugs, elder abuse. We don't even talk about elder abuse, where we've got the family members sucking the elders out of their life savings, and then all of a sudden granny needs to go into a home, but there's no money because somebody's looted the family purse strings, and social services will say, well, granny's incompetent but capable, and so there's nothing we can do. And that's part of the issue that we see out here on the streets with our elders who are walking the streets of Seattle, is you get these social service agencies that say, well, Uncle Barry, Aunt Lucy, Grandma Henrietta, or Grandpa Earl, they're incompetent but capable. And then next thing you see them there on the street with eating out of a garbage can, because that becomes their quality of life in their head, and there's nothing we can do. I mean, come on, man. I mean, that's bullshit. Just flat out bullshit. Somehow along the line, we can't force them in, but we can slowly nurture them back into something that is a safe and healthy environment. But the city's not set up for that. Nobody wants to step up to the plate, and that's just how it's gonna be unless we take it upon ourselves as a community to try to work with that person, and hopefully we can turn it around, because we're not getting it from our local government or King County Public Health. It's very sad, but that's the reality. I'm not saying it's everybody, but I'm saying youth violence and what we see on the streets, it's going to be more than we've ever seen, especially for us that grew up here in Seattle. It's a shame. It's really a shame, because Seattle's better than that.
I think what you're observing is the breakdown and the various sicknesses that are rampant in society, and you just talked about some of the issues with elder care, of which there are many more, and you talked about some of the issues with the youth, of which there are many more, and you're just noticing things. You're just noticing these trends out there, and I don't think that anyone who knows anything about those trends would dispute you and say that elder abuse isn't on the rise, that youth violence, that there isn't any sort of expectation of a surge when you have, even in the best of times in our society, you have a Lord of the Flies situation in most schools where the kids are running the show, right? They're bullying each other, they're not getting the proper education, they're not getting the proper care. Yeah, there are some that do, but those are generally more the exception than the rule. And what, can we be surprised when those people lash out in a unhealthy and potentially violent way? I don't think we can be surprised.
You've got the underachiever and overachiever and the ones in the middle, and hopefully those in the middle can hang on and get through this phase of their education.
But we make it very difficult for them. We're making it extremely difficult for young people. You know, whether it's the social media or whether it's the isolation from friends or whether it's the dysfunctional family where you don't have a strong, you know, mother and father to really help you navigate the challenges in modern society. You know, we don't have a lot of that.
And even if you do have that backing, our system of government is not there to back that family up.
And my only question to you would be, is it possible that we need to look as a society elsewhere from government to solve these issues? Because I don't think they're getting solved either. Certainly not by government. The private sector does way more to solve these issues than anything else, but the private sector also creates a lot of issues too.
Last night I was over across from Baker Park near 85th and Mary, and I look over and I see this black man laying down on a backpack up against the wall, not moving, and I went over and go, hey, 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 and just laid there. Kind of, hey, I said, you okay? Yeah. I said, I just want to make sure you're not dead. He said, no, I ain't dead. I said, you sick? Sick, yeah. So, listening to these Zoom meetings coming out of City Hall, some of our council meetings that we've recently had where we can talk about that community mobilization team that comes out with a mobile health unit that comes out to address this issue. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to listen to what Councilman Dan Strauss has said, what King County Councilwoman Jean Cole Wells has said, and the question to Dan Strauss from somebody from his same arena is questioning, how is this mobilization team supposed to work if there's no funding? When are the funds going to be released? Well, I backed that up 100%, blah, blah, blah. So I said, shit, I'm gonna call the crisis clinic. So I got on the phone, crisis clinic, got moved over to the crisis line. I said, yeah, I was advised by listening to these community meetings where we've had state representatives, Councilman Seattle City Councilman Dan Strauss, and King County Councilwoman Jean Cole Wells, who's part of the health board committee for King County, the King County Health Super anyway. So I said, can we get somebody out here to check on this black man? Because I'm concerned about his health. But and I don't want to call law enforcement. And I don't want to call the fire department and take the fire department out of this when we have this social service group that's supposed to come out and meet and do an assessment. Hold on, let me get a hold of my supervisor. Who recommended us? I said Seattle City Councilman Dan Strauss and King County Councilwoman Jean Cole Wells from the Health Board, King County Health Board, and chair of the King County Health Board. And okay, so I get this person on the phone. Okay, what's the address? Just give him the address. Well, this could take about 6 hours, 6 hours? 6 hours? Can I get your information? Yeah, I'll give you my information. I'll give him my information. And I said, 6 hours? Okay. So it's nice to know that this is working for our African-American community and that you're going to be there for him. Thank you very much. I will hope for the best and be prepared for the worst, because it seems that's just the way this thing rolls. But I'm not putting it on you, ma'am, or young lady, because it's, if that's appropriate, that's what I said. trying to be civil and nice and say, hey, I didn't expect them to do anything. It was an encourage whoever has the ability to make that call, to make it right now for this person. Let's get them off the street. Because if Black Lives Matter, they're gonna be out there right now in North Seattle. And I support all communities, but I swear to God, I just cannot believe what I'm hearing from City Hall and the thing that's coming from our Seattle City Council, and I see this black man on the street, and there ain't nothing being done, there isn't anything being done. That's bunk, it's bullshit.
Especially because there's.
And I'm a jackass for saying and so I'm a jackass because I care about this person on the street. Of course I care about the little old lady on the street, because I call for the little old lady. Of course I see the young white female or the white male on the street for all communities. But for this one here, the African American, he was all bundled up, didn't look well, ankles swelled up with something obviously toxic, a shitty liver or some bad kidneys or something that is more medical than what the county is offering. Is that a mental health issue, or is that a substance abuse issue, or is that a medical issue that goes beyond something that needs to be treated in a hospital? Okay, because you're not going to get treated. A social service worker is not a doctor. That person may have needed a doctor, and to get in some sort of cognitive mindset to be able to understand what these health issues are. And obviously this person may have medical through the Washington State Health Exchange. Get them access to services. There's open slots. I mean, but walk him through the process. If Black Lives Matter, they would have showed up within an hour, because he was still there after 2 hours, because I checked. 6 hours? That's bullshit. That's messed up. So, say what you want about me, but that's what I do and see on the street. And that's why we have street talk.
So to do all of that, you talk to 3 or 4 bureaucrats, you talk to a couple administrative people, and they passed you around, and finally you were able to get somebody to say, for the situation, a ridiculously long period of time, that maybe someone will go out there and take a look. Even though we have all this bureaucracy, even though we have all these layers that are supposed to ensure that people like this are taken care of, it's still not.
Why was that a meeting where there was a sergeant, I'm not going to say his name, asking Councilman Strauss about when the funding was going to be released to make sure that because there's no navigation team anymore to deal with people on the streets, so they've created this new unit, and yet they've but it's not an act. Is it activated or what?
Talking about LEAD, or
there's LEAD, there's Share, there's all these different organizations that say they're doing stuff, but 6 hours for the black man, it's bullshit. That's effed up. When you say the word effed up, I'm not going to use a full word.
But here's the thing, it'll take them 6 hours after all this phone calling back and forth, but it took you 5 minutes to go up and talk to him and make sure that he was okay. You, a member of the community.
Well, I got out of my car and I see this guy and he's not moving, and so for me, it's my natural instinct is, hey, you okay?
Well, you're a beautiful person and a man of the street.
Say, but it's really, and there's a lot of people that would say, don't get involved, leave him alone. He's not hurting anybody. How dare you? How dare you? You heathen, you infidel. And that's coming from the
I mean, if someone truly doesn't want help, that's
can't force it.
You can't force it on them. But this person, in all likelihood, like you were saying, you maybe take them in, get them a nice shower, get them cleaned up, get them some medical care for their clearly ailing body. Maybe their mind clears up a little bit.
When we made the sandwiches this past week here with Fremont Rotary, and
in this very room,
we made the sandwiches, and I'd never been to Compass Housing Alliance. Is that what it is?
Yeah, Seattle Compass Housing
Seattle Compass Housing Alliance.
Or maybe it's just Compass Housing Alliance
for the homeless, and so first of all, so I got the sandwiches, I delivered, and it was my first time ever going there, so I'm awestruck, and I'm walking and see the physical place, and I said, here, I have the sandwiches, and they were truly very grateful for the sandwiches. It really meant a lot to them, and that was such a good feeling. And my mom, before I went down, asked me to drop off a shaving and hair kit, brand new, for the hygiene center. And so I go down into the hygiene center.
In Compass Housing Alliance?
Compass Housing Alliance, and they got a place where you can take a shower and a day room of some sort. And so my mom wanted me to drop this off to you guys. Oh, what is it? Look at. And the person says, bless your mom's heart. Bless your mama's heart. I said, I'll let her know. And the lady outside, bless your mama. Bless your mama. And I said, thank you. You know what? Thank you for your service. We really appreciate what you're doing. And it's a joint community effort. And we'll try to get the word out through Rotary about the things that you are doing. And I'm very impressed. Thank you. We work hard trying to help these people who are in need of services and get them back into. But it was a cool event for me, because it's easy to look on TV news, on a Zoom meeting, listening to some of the groups that I participate with, but to actually see somebody and those people depending on this place and getting help, it's huge. And so for me to see it in Crown Hill or here in North Seattle, and seeing the black man on the ground pisses me off to no end. With the very struggle and the very fight these council members are pontificating on and giving us false promises and hope and using him for their political agenda is bullshit. You know what? Quit being an agitator, and be an activator. I got that from Meg.
Okay.
Meg is this special woman that just goes out and takes care of business and cares about our wildlife and habitat. And I won't say her last name to protect her from, whatever, but from my shenanigans. Because I got plenty of shenanigans.
She's another beautiful person.
She really is. She's a great person. She's an inspiring new leader in our community. She may have been around a long time, but having her part of some of the stuff we do, she's a go-getter.
Yeah, she's been incredible. And what would it look like if, going back to what you were saying, if more people were empowered to do the things that you're doing to make a real difference with an individual one-on-one, right? Like take them down to Seattle or to Compass Housing Alliance and get them some services. And we can all be social workers. We can all be people that care for the community. And then we don't have to funnel all of our hard-earned money through these bureaucrats just so that they can make lies and say how they can't help and they don't have enough money.
I don't have a problem. There are people out there that are in our system of government that work very, very hard. That are that get shit done. But they don't have reinforcement from those at the top And oftentimes.
Those are the bureaucrats I'm talking about.
So
They're
the ones
the
at the
people,
top-
the kind people in government who are trying to work hard, who are trying to get people services. There's lots of those
And
people too.
But
Those people could do that work outside of government, and they probably would, right? If they didn't have the opportunity to do it through government, those kind of people, maybe like a Meg or like you, would find other ways to do it, and then we could get rid of all the other people who are just leeching on.
So last night, for example, with this black man, and there was a handful of others down that line of where I was. There have been people that have been meeting and having conversations with them, and doing assessments and stuff. And there's some people that have taken the opportunity to get off the streets. This particular instance, it was nice to be able to make the call, get connected to the supervisor. At least the supervisor was honest, said this could take 6 hours. So what happened? I don't know. But if I see the person again, I'll know who the person is, and I'll start again asking questions. But the key thing is that those people who are going in front of us, given this line of bullshit and saying, we're gonna make this, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, has been saying we're gonna do this over the past 2 to 3 years. And the problem is just gotten worse and worse and worse, and it goes again with the combination of substance abuse, mental health, and elder. And if we're going to address those that are immigrants and people of color, we do that, and we're capable of doing that as well. But there are some within the community that all they have is the mainstream part of the community to get those services, so we need to be prepared to bring them in and not make it a special place for them to go south of the ship canal when they live right here in our own community. So it's important that we embrace the community as a whole, and if somebody speaks a native tongue of Korean, Spanish, Arabic or Somalian or some other Greek, Bulgarian, Hungarian. If I need Bulgarian, I know where to go. If I need Turkish, I know where to go. And if I need Arabic, I know where to go. But that's not my role. And so the key thing is how do we share this information back and forth from here in the north end to the different groups and services that are available for when their person is in need for help or who even wants to start up a small business. What the frick? Man, if I'm, hey, I want to start call me Chili. That's what the Mexicans call me. Call me Chili, man. I want to start a business, man. I said, well, this is what you need to do. Why don't you call the state, and then and this is how you do it. Hey, man, my brother's all fucked up, man. How can we get him some services? Well, why don't you call that place down there on 4th and Jefferson and see if you can't get him an assessment. Okay, go with Chili, that's cool, man. And then I get those from the Arab community. Hey, Rudy, man, I need you to get my nephew into school, man. He's new, doesn't speak English, but I need to get him in school. So take him down to the school headquarters and get him into signed up for a school. And many times they'll say, can we move him? We got got him in the south end. I said, what do you mean the south end? He needs to be going to the north end. We need to somebody's got to pick him up and teach him how to get from school to work, to the workplace, to his uncle's workplace so he can keep an eye on him, or his aunt, and home. Can't do it from the south end. Get him in the north end. If I lived in the south end, we get them in the south end. But we live in the north end, let's get him, and there's nothing wrong with him learning from us, and we can teach him the skills that he or she or the niece needs. And you know what? These kids are excelling today. That was like 10, 15 years ago. They've already graduated from Ingram, Ballard, from other schools here in the community, and they're working professional people out in the community. And that's important for me to be a participant in that, to be able to at least help those that, and it's not just about drugs and alcohol, it's not about being dysfunctional, it's about education, education, education. You know, if you can't read, and you can't write, you can't do the math, you can't do the science, and you sure and shit can't read the signs to get you from school to home. Excuse me, you know, like me going, if I was to go to Hong Kong, do you think I'd know how to get from home to school?
I bet you could figure
I'd
it out.
have to figure out, what I'd do is I'd have little places of, that I would follow, you know.
It's like landmarks?
Little landmarks, yeah, landmarks. That's how I get around Fremont to Ballard, to Aurora. I got these little landmarks, and if it's cut off, I know where to take the shortcut and move around. And I don't share those shortcuts with anybody because of my private business. I don't want anybody getting in the way of my shortcuts.
You run these streets.
Like, I don't run the streets, but I know the streets.
You walk the streets.
You know what? That's street talk.
Man, a lot of really beautiful stuff there. I think the immigrant thing is something that we don't talk about enough, and that is that we have more than enough jobs for immigrants. And I almost think we have more than enough jobs for as many people that want to come here as possible, because in construction right now, I know it's mostly immigrants that work in construction, and there are a ton of jobs that are unfilled. You know, people are behind schedule with lots of projects. They can use more help. I think that we need to really rethink our immigration policy,
You know,
try to
and
let more
that's a
people
good
in
one,
here.
because, and why not our local people? Why not our local people?
Oh, because they don't want to.
And that's, whether they want to or not, getting some to show up and to finish tends to be somewhat of an obstacle amongst some that we have right now that we do.
Well, our society, I think, is very sick, and part of that sickness is that, you know, young, able-bodied people don't necessarily want to exert a lot of effort. But people that come from other countries that maybe have, poor countries a lot of the times, and maybe they have a little bit better of a, you know, they have a little bit better of a grounding. They have more ambition. They have more drive. They want to get things done so that they can improve their lives.
That's funny. Yes, yesterday I'm not going to say where I was, but man, Rudy, you Americans, that's you Americans. From our country, we love from our country, this is freedom. This is freedom. So much opportunity. But here, some are very lazy.
Yes.
Some are very lazy. I said, are you calling me? No, Rudy, you're not lazy. No, Rudy, you're not lazy. You come in Chile. And that wasn't from the Mexican community. But they know they call me.
No one can tell which community it was from that
But
accent.
I'm not going to say, I just, are you poking fun at those that can't speak English? Well, there's some pretty good dialects that I have to study and learn. And
Street
and
talk.
what's funny too is they go, Rudy, my English is not very good. Well, it's good enough for you to hand me my check and to take my cash. So what the frick is going on around here? Well, that we know is good English. and hey, Rudy, when are you going to clean these fucking mats? I said, I'll get the mats clean when I get the pressure washer. Well, where the fuck's the pressure washer? I said, I got to probably get the pressure washer, we'll get the mats clean, and that's a favor, you know, and that's what comes around goes around. So, but it's a great, you know, we have a great community, but I think we got shitheads that fuck it up for us. That's just straight up the way it is. They fuck it up and they make it a clusterfuck mess, and then we got people kissing their ass.
What are we gonna do about these shitheads?
Well, fuck, we just work around them and just keep it civil. And you
I
know
feel
what?
like the shitheads are at all levels of our society. They're not just at the, you know, they're not just the Fred Manor, you know, residents.
No, there's a part of this pandemic. We've got people that are going to be entering the system because they've stayed home, who are well-to-do people in our community that have stayed home, been sucking on the wine bottle, taking the Xanax and the Lexapro,
And they're getting hooked.
and they're self-medicating themselves because I'm exhausted. I can't fucking deal with this. Did you see that on the news? That's just wearing me out. I think I'm gonna get up to the store and get a glass of wine. I'm gonna pick up my prescription, so I have it. And so
I'm just gonna live
and
like
so
a
it's
king.
not. It's the opiates are not the drug of choice. It's the psychiatric drugs that are the drugs of choice, and it's the middle upper class that's getting sucked into that self-medicating, that it's going to come back and bite them in the ass, and that's part of the chaos that we're going to start. That's part of the chaos with the youth violence that we're going to see coming this summer, because the family structure, mom and dad are in crisis, mom's in crisis, dad's in crisis, they're breaking up, kids are off doing whatever. And so we lose that connection of self-worth. But that's fact. That's fact. I can tell you this right now. That's street talk, and I'm hearing it from the source.
I'm more of an intuitive person, but that makes total sense to me that people are using and abusing more so alcohol and psychiatric drugs at the moment because of all the perceived craziness, because of all the real craziness.
And there's a lot that has to do with this I'm isolated.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm isolated, and then being able to transform back into the mainstream is a fucking mess. It's going to be a mess. So I'm going to back up. I'm going to go, whoa, alien must have taken her or taken him, you know what, but the alien hopefully will bring him or her back. That's just not them today. That's not who they are. The alien must have them. And sure enough, a little bit of time goes by and the alien brings them back. I'm really sorry that I acted that way. It's okay. You know, it's okay. You just go along with that and just hopefully hope for the best. Again, be prepared for the worst, but eventually it comes back to center.
And speaking of coming back, you know, there's a lot of shitheads at all levels of society, but there's a lot of really amazing, beautiful people at all levels of society too. And we need to focus on that and work on expanding that, and you know, maybe the shitheads will come around.
And I think that's the key to, that's what Rotary is all about. I really do believe giving service when needed. And I really, Rotary for me has been the biggest asset for me versus other groups, because there's a structure and people show up and they're both young and not so young. I mean, we've got some older folks that are, you know, that are beautiful.
You know who
people.
should be the next president-elect of Fremont Rotary?
Who?
I'm looking at him.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I think you could stir it up real nicely.
I would prefer to be that sidekick of outreach.
Ooh, outreach. Membership.
Membership.
You could be
outreach
membership.
would be good. Because,
Yeah, there you go.
And then we can have these fun-filled events.
But it doesn't, even though much respect to Rotary, it doesn't have to do with Rotary with you. You are out there doing it no matter what. Even if Rotary isn't there, you're out there picking up garbage, you're out there cleaning up, you're out there being part of the community.
I think Rotary has given myself and others a platform, a stage, a place to participate with others
Yes.
and
Like a tool.
and feel appreciated and the others that go along with it, because we can't do it. Rudy can't do it by himself. Kirk can't do it by himself. And as a group, by working together, and some show up for 45 minutes, some show up for 2 hours, and some can't make it, but there's always somebody revolving from one event to the next that can fill in for that person that can't show up. And that's what made those sandwiches, dropping them off down to Compass Housing Alliance, a success, is because there were some people that couldn't make it, but we had others that did show up that we weren't expecting. And we may have ran out of a few pickles, but we pulled it off. We were short because somebody saw a little short on the pickles, huh, Rudy?
We were short on the pickles, that was my bad.
You know, and so, but those sandwiches were, you know, they were used by people that were hungry, but we did it through the pandemic. We would show up and make sandwiches for those that were hungry.
We took a couple months off.
We got through it though. I mean, we still.
Yeah, it's still kind of iffy whether we should, you know, in air quotes, be doing it. But I think we have to do it. Now is the time where you have to do things like that. Even if it means sticking your neck out just a little bit, you're trying to make a difference for people, you know. And sometimes that does mean sticking your neck out a little bit.
Yeah, it does. You know, and of course, not everybody's going to be happy. There's always somebody that's jealous of somebody. I think people become jealous of other people's success, so they want to tear it down. And I think can't let it take it personal. Just got to stay the course and stay focused. And I think that's where a lot of relapse happens.
Isn't that one of the hardest parts, that oftentimes it's not just people in your life, it's like the closest people in your life sometimes can do that. And maybe it's because they're hurting. Maybe it's because that they're not happy with themselves. And, you know, it's hard to work on yourself. It's hard to work through those things. It's much easier to try to tear down the people around you.
You know, I don't have the answers for this, but I can guarantee you the people that do are listening today.
Wow.
To Street Talk.
Who's got the answers?
Who's got the answers? If you got the answers, you know what? Just leave a note. And from where?
Well,
can people leave a
comment. Yeah.
comment on what's
YouTube.
on YouTube?
For now, yeah.
But
YouTube.
what is your site?
Well, nothing's on my site yet. I gotta freaking put in some work to that, but
Frickin'?
fucking.
Oh.
Sorry.
Yeah, part of your bucket. Oh yeah, you just gotta stick it in your bucket somewhere. Yeah, bucket. Yeah, I got it. It's not bucket. You said bucket.
Bucket.
Bucket. Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
that's
frickin'. Not frickin'.
in my bucket.
Fuck it, but bucket.
That's right. But for now, comments on YouTube, and it'd be fun if the community had some questions and left some questions for you for next time.
Or solutions.
Or solutions.
You know, solutions.
Solutions worth like 10 questions.
Man, I mean, that's just huge, man. I mean, if people, but I guarantee,
Even if it's a bad solution,
even if it's shitty,
you try it, boom, it
You know,
doesn't
some
work,
of
you move right the fuck on.
Some of the worst ideas become some of the most successful things like that we can put into action. Oh, that's just stupid. Where'd you come up with that?
Yeah, like Viagra.
like when we first. I remember when the dinosaur came from over there at the little dinosaurs.
The Ivy dinosaurs?
The Ivy dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Came over from the Pacific Science Center, and people said, God, that thing's so stupid. What are you doing with that? How can you possibly grow ivy out of that? I said, over time. Well, you can have ivy over that in your lifetime? I said, you fucking bitch. No, that wasn't a female, that was a dude, okay? You fucking bitch. You know, I didn't say it out loud, I'm just thinking this in my head. And so we put the little sprigs over there on the legs and on the tail, and I get that Osmocote, stick it over there, sprig it there, and then drop some water on it. Next thing is, we see it growing up the tail. Then one year we cut the tail, and all hell broke loose. And then after the tail got cut, it died, and then all of a sudden it flourished. And we watched this thing get over to the heads. And finally when it met the nose, it's been a fun cleanup ever since. But
Every quarter.
We had to kiss, we had to treat it. Because you get the ivy vines coming over this way, and they'd be growing up like this, kind of like my hair last week, and you know, it was all frizzy and stuff like that. And so we would tie it, zip tie it, and eventually, there it is.
Boom.
Beautiful. Right there on 34th and Finney.
Yeah.
Right near Theo Chocolate and the Indoor Sun Shop.
Yep.
Shout out for the Sun.
And Cascade Bicycle.
Oh, Cascade Bicycle, yes.
That's right.
And of course, if you want good food, it's LTD.
LTD's got great food.
That's downstairs?
Oh, that's downstairs, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Like a burger and...
There's so much great food here in Fremont. Just in Fremont, there's so much great food. That's the best part about living in big metropolitan areas and cities, is the exchange of different people's perspective on how to cook, or how to listen to music, or how to hang out, or what art to do, or what activities to pursue, or whatever it is. I think that that's the best part of cities, and we need to reconnect with that, because we've lost in many ways that aspect of our city, that coming together of different, not just your own community, but different communities coming together and interacting.
It really is. And the great thing about this community is there's nice places to shop. It's not just about food and bars and stuff like that, but there's great retailers, specialty little boutique shops and stuff.
We should get a plug from the Fremont Chamber of Commerce for that.
Where's the chamber on this? Yeah. If you want anything that you want to know about business, it's the Fremont Chamber. Isn't there a website?
Yes, but I don't know it.
FremontChamber.com or something like that?
It might even be Fremont.com. They might even just have that, but I can't. I don't know.
You know what? You should just get your act together.
I need
next
to.
time. You know
That
what?
goes in
You're
the
just gonna have
budget
to
too.
wait for the next podcast to know where to find a little bit of business here. And I think you could shop online if you're listening from abroad. If you see something nice.
That's right. That's right.
You
People
can,
might be listening from
Australia or
Nashville.
Canada or across the country.
Yeah, all over the place. That's the
Los
power.
Angeles.
That's the power of the internet.
Yep.
Los Angeles. Oh yeah, you were talking about Los Angeles.
There's H3. Those people down in that area, you know, those that
They make great videos.
oh, they do. You know,
Man,
Ethan Klein and
I
Hugh.
got to get on that level someday. It's time. You got to put time into it, and I'm sure they're very talented.
You know what? What was really cool when I met Ethan and Gila in Los Angeles.
Do they put it? Do they have a producer? Or do they put it all together themselves?
When I met with the producer, and I had this certain thing or expectation of what it was going to be like.
What was that?
And it was like
What was your expectation?
kind of like this high energy,
Mhm.
you know, like pow.
Like all the
You know,
effects
like,
that he does.
whoa, you know, this is all cool and shit like that. But you know, I was really impressed with him and her and their levelness and very nice people, very nice. And there's the person, and then there's the entertainer. And for me, I was able to meet both sides of the entertainment. One side is the entertainment, and the other side is the reality of who Ethan and Eva Klein are. You know, I haven't been there for a long time, but I have a great deal of respect, and I was truly blessed by being able to meet them in person. And
did they fly you down and cover everything and
yeah,
all that?
Yeah.
Oh,
that
wow.
was just cool as heck, man. I go rolling. I get picked up by a Mexican chauffeur, and I said,
Made you feel right at
"Oh
home?
man, I was right at home." I'm going right here, and he says, "Okay, we take you to the studio, or took me to my hotel room, okay, to the hotel," and then I get out, and the next thing is I'm a nervous wreck because I don't know what the heck I'm doing, you know. I mean, this is all brand new to me.
Right.
I mean,
These people
I'm not even that cool. I mean, I got flown down, I get picked up by a chauffeur. Next thing is I'm just like, and I'm sober, okay? And I'm sober.
How many months after the incident at City Hall was that?
That was, that might have been a year after that I went to.
And were you sober that whole time?
The whole time.
Wow.
Yeah, so all of a sudden here, it's my first vacation trip in forever, besides, you know, going down to Tacoma or going over to Mount Vernon. You know, those are vacations for me, but to get on an airplane and fly down to Los Angeles, that was just cool as heck. And then I decided I was going to get a little rental car. Went to a Seattle Sounder LA Galaxy game, which was
You went to
great.
the game?
I went to the game, yeah.
Wow.
That was really cool. And I got lost in Compton.
There you go.
I was in Compton, and then the next thing I end up in some other little town. I can't think of the name offhand, but I was all through that whole area, you know. And
It's huge. It's so
it
sprawling.
really is. Beverly Hills, it was really a fun time. Thought I was going to go try to play some golf, but you know what? I didn't. So on the way back on the plane, I had to get the car back, and I'm lost as heck. And my phone's not working. Okay, my phone's not working. My phone somehow got. And I don't know the technology. I'm not that smart with the technology then, because I hadn't learned the Chinese yet to learn the technology to be able to get into these different apps and stuff.
How dare you?
At Shoreline Community College. And
They taught you how to read English in Chinese class?
Well, well, no, I didn't. Actually, that's where I got my best. That's where I'm not great with grammar, but my grammar skills improved by learning Chinese because I went from my Chinese tutor. But anyway, so I'm trying to learn all this technology. But at that point, I didn't know it. So I'm lost, and I need to get to LAX by a certain time and shuttled in. And if I miss that plane, I'm fucked. So I made it. Just by the hair of my chin.
You navigated with your old noggin?
No, I had to get out of the car and say, "Where the hell am I? Can you tell me how to get to such and such?" Yeah. Hop in. Hey, shuttle's coming. Hop on the shuttle.
We talked about you figuring it out in Korea. If you could barely figure it out in LA, I don't know if Korea's going to do it for you.
No, it's not going to. No, Hong Kong, no, in Taiwan.
Oh, Taiwan.
I wanted to go to the Rotary
Convention
in Taiwan, but you had a, you know, because of COVID, because of the pandemic, it was canceled. So, but maybe
Because of the
another
CCP.
time. You know, I'll do it another time. Next season.
There you go.
Do
They don't do it in Taiwan every year, I'm guessing.
No, I don't think so, but I think it was getting postponed. So, on that happy note, I'm out of words.
You want to call it?
Let's call it But tune in next week, baby.
Next week we got our
Next
first
week,
guest.
It's gonna be, you don't wanna miss it.
And send in questions, solutions, comments. Rudy from Ballard would love to entertain them.
No problem. And thank you if you made it this far, thank you. And I hope you have a great week.
Wow, many blessings. All right. On that note, thank you, everyone.